James. Oh, it's that time of the week again, ain't it, mate?
What time is it?
It's beyond the time for Beyond the Pine.
That's it.
That's it. 177, baby.
Episode 177. We had the late great Elliot Morgan on this week's podcast, and he's just one of our best friends. He passed away recently.
Yeah, it is sad, but I'm glad that we were able to, have someone just puppeteer his fucking lifeless body.
Yeah. Stuck his fist up his ass and work his mouth like a puppet. To suck his fuckers.
Suck his fuckers. Shitting.
No, this is a great podcast. We talked about amazing things. We got like deep into like psychology and deep, but we talked about psychology and mental health. Things that we love talking about now, because I feel like lately we've been talking so much more about like real things, and I like that because it also helps, because like in a way, like this is a form of our therapy every week, being able to talk about things with each other. You know what I mean?
Totally. Just that's what friends do, man. And fucking, we had James's fucking watch 2 movies last night high segment.
That's my favorite new segment.
It's a new segment, and we had a great time, dude. We caught up with Elliot to what he was doing in the world, so you get to see what's going on there. We had some laughs, and we just had some great, genuine conversations, dude. I love Elliot, and I had such a good time talking with him, man. You know what I mean? I just love it. You guys are going to enjoy the fucking episode. Make sure to fucking hit that fucking bell. Beyond all that fuck shit. Right, Jay? Right, Jay? Right, James?
Yes, that's right, Kev. Welcome back to Beyond the Pine, where we're back on our fuck shit, baby.
I'm on that fuck shit.
Welcome, Elliot, my sweet boy Elliot.
Thank
it's
you.
so good to see your voice. To see your voice.
It is good to see.
It's great to hear your face.
It's great to see. It's great to think. It's great to make you want to think about me.
It's great to smell your voice.
To smell your eyes.
Dude,
I love smelling your eyes.
How are you doing? You look you look good, man. I like your mustard shirt and your little blonde tips. I miss my blonde hair. It's making me miss my blonde hair. So never mind.
See that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Give it a go again. What's stopping you?
Elliot, thank you.
I don't know if I could go to the place
that
right now to get it colored.
Yeah. Yeah, this was before all that. I had to go covertly for a little bit.
Why can't you go?
Well, because of the pandemic. You can't. The place is closed.
There's a
pandemic is affecting your hair? Right.
Right.
Yeah.
What next?
Give me a what
next, dude? Close the restaurants? Right.
Does it get any worse?
Like I'm not going to Buca di Beppo. My ass.
Oh, COVID? Yeah, like I'm not going to Buca di Beppo, family style Italian dining.
This
Buca di Beppo,
okay.
you have something going on in your life that's very dark if you go
Honestly,
to Buca di Beppo.
Tuesday, Thursday nights, Buca di Beppo, the first time we do a book reading, the second time we do Pokemon card trading and fighting.
There's also a gym there.
There's also a
Pokemon Go gym.
No. It's at, yes, there is.
No fucking God, you got me.
No, I think there actually is. Me and Steve have been,
Fuck
dude,
off.
me and Steve have been going.
To Buca di Beppo?
No, as in Pokemon.
I know, dude.
Are you then? Stay out of this.
Okay. I'm staying out. Elliot, have you ever played Pokemon Go, dude? Did you ever get into that shit?
I mean, I tried. I was talking to James before we hit record about Pokemon. I missed the ship, but I did play Pokemon Go, and it is cool, and I can see why people get into it. It's just not quite like there for me, but
yeah.
I mean, I'll still check it out when I'm like out of town.
You should get it. You should
around.
You should get it though.
James, don't peer pressure him, man.
Dude,
I'll start getting it.
You should start to get it, and then you'll have it, and then we'll be having a great night. Dude, Lauren's mom completed her Pokédex in Pokemon Go.
Fuck off.
Yeah. She was like hardcore.
I know.
How
well,
on
maybe
earth?
Not currently. I think when it was just the first gen, when it was just like the 150 of the original
So she did
ones.
the gyms and shit?
This was like back when it first came out. I think before they added any Pokemon extra.
Right.
So she had, but like all of them. Still, that's 150 where like some of them are regional. Like you can't get them like if you're on the West Coast unless you trade with someone who has it. Like
it's kind of bullshit to do the trades though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd rather go
like
and catch
nice.
it. You know what I mean?
See the world.
Like exactly. It's instigating travel.
So she cheated.
Oh fuck, dude! That's how you find out. Imagine,
yeah,
because it says that they're best friends with this person in Pokemon Go, and it's like this person lives in Michigan.
This cannot be.
Seems like you'd have to. Yeah, I play a lot of Scrabble Go, and I think it's different.
Don't tell me you play Scrabble.
I have Scrabble Go. I'm gonna add you
a lot.
Oh, that's real? I thought you were joking.
Yeah, add me. No, dude. Yeah, I play a lot of Scrabble Go, like to the point that I was playing it. Like I play it every day, and it's kind of sad.
What's the appeal
and it's not
of
like
Scrabble?
real Scrabble. I really don't know. It's like the sound effects. Like it does something.
Satisfying.
It's so stupid.
Satisfying.
And then you know what you can do? You can get a bunch of coins, and then if you win, and then you can switch out your tiles. Yeah. So like I have right now like little sushi tiles.
Oh, that's cool. Skins.
Yeah, and then if you get skins, and then if you get enough, you can switch it to like little corgis or fish bowls, and it's so dumb.
I have human teeth,
but. Yeah, human teeth would be incredible.
No, he was just
human
letting
teeth
you know
if you
that
get enough.
He actually has human teeth. James,
good, man. That's great.
For a long time.
Yeah, these are real.
Yeah,
I get
really
that.
Cool.
I think that the primary thing is you got to like Scrabble first and foremost, and then this thing allows it to be addictive and rewarding.
Yeah.
Well, you don't like Scrabble because you don't know how to spell.
I don't know the opposite words.
Yeah.
Right.
But
once you get this, and then it also there's cheats you can do and little. I mean, it's just a stupid.
Well, I would never cheat at Scrabble.
He would never.
I've had like shortcuts. You can do little like you can swipe out your tiles, or you can do all these crazy.
Oh, like when you just do the little down
bolt.
arrow thing, and it just brings all your.
There's
tiles
no
down.
shortcuts in life. There's no shortcuts in life.
There are.
You're not wrong, dude. You're not wrong.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm going to
actually
argue. I'm going to actually argue that there are.
Tell me one.
Nepotism.
Okay, that's a shortcut.
That's true.
That's a shortcut.
That's a shortcut immediately. Yeah.
Good looks, privilege.
Oh yeah. Shortcut or leg up?
One would call those synonymous.
One would call those anonymous.
That sounds like a fun dance move too. Leg up, and you get a little. Then you would get anything you wanted. Anyway, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, no.
Oh, dude, we didn't
great,
give you a proper
man.
intro yet.
It's been great. Hey,
you don't need to.
Elliot Morgan of the Valley Folk.
Elliot
Morgan from the woods. More like.
Oh my God,
that's
dude.
right.
Elliot, what a time. We gotta reminisce.
Oh yeah. Dude.
Oh, I would love to.
Elliot's like,
I forgot.
I'd rather not.
He's like, that's I desperately tried to get that off my IMDb, and they won't do it. They said if you did it, you did it.
Really? You should be proud of that. That's some good stuff.
I'm just kidding. I liked it.
No, I'm totally joking. I love the woods,
dude.
But I catch myself from talking. Yeah, exactly. It was so much fun. What I love the most is just how much fun it was for us to just be like, and that was prime, like right at the peak of both our success, our like notoriety. We won the streamy, and then also our stress level, though. Oh, God, I love being fucking famous.
Yep.
Also our stress level, and especially like, I mean, all of us, like we were working the worst hours. None of us were being paid anything really at that time. Like it was just like pennies.
Pre-sellout or what?
Oh yeah, dude. Are you kidding me? That was right at the beginning of our original partnership.
Right.
Like,
and Rooster Teeth was just like, we're going to make $1 million on them. At least. Better,
all
dude.
jokes aside, I'm just really tired.
I'm kidding. You're tired, honey?
I'm so tired.
Why are you so tired?
I've just been staying up late.
Right.
Speaking of which, I stayed up late and I watched 2 movies last night. And I want to just talk briefly. This is going to be a new little section of the podcast, new segment called
At least for this episode.
Brand new. This is the first of many for this segment. It's called James Watched 2 Movies. And
James watched 2 movies high last night.
Oh. James watched 2 movies.
James watched 2 movies.
2 movies.
He couldn't sleep.
Here he goes.
And the point of this segment, as we all know from now on, because I've done this segment so many times, is that they're going to be 2 movies of the same genre.
Yeah.
Done so differently. Done so differently in quality. First one I watched was a new movie. I don't know if either of you have seen it or even heard of it. It's called The Tax Collector.
Is that a murder film? Guy's a murderer?
Dude. Is that a murder film? A murder film?
Is that a murder film?
You're damn right it's a murder film.
Tell me that's not a murder film.
It's a murder film.
It's not literally about taxes. It's about
it's a murder film for sure.
Debts.
It's
yeah,
Shia
it's one of
LaBeouf.
those things where
Shia LaBeouf's in it.
Oh.
It's the one where he plays. You might have seen it or heard about it, Kib, because I know you're a big Shia fan, just like me.
Huge Shia fan.
It's the one where
Shia.
It's David Ayer who directed fucking End of Watch, Suicide Squad, fucking all those like really gritty like LA crime movies. And he's dope sometimes. This movie was one of the worst scripts I'd ever fucking heard. The story was so like flat and predictable. It was literally just like the most derivative, like boring fucking like crime, like, oh, we're gangsters and like I'm in it, and then like but then I decided I'm not in it and I gotta get out, and then they kill my girlfriend and I'll get revenge. It was just so like bad.
And that really grinds my gears.
And you hate that.
Yeah, grinds my gears too.
I do hate that.
But Shia was fucking dope in it. It was getting a lot of flack at first because Shia plays what appeared to be like a Mexican American like gangster. Like he looked like Latino. But the character in the movie is a white kid who was raised by like in a Mexican community in like South Central.
Oh, so he did it exactly how it was written.
Exactly, like he was just a kid,
not offensive.
Exactly, and so
like a great actor.
Yeah. Who's there? Who is that? Who is that? Oh my God,
that's
Steve.
so funny.
He just came all over himself, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Zaragoza just popped in full of cum, dumb, young, and full of cum. Young,
wow,
dumb, young
dude.
blood.
That's our next segment.
Bravo.
I just want to point out that cum looked really thick. That looked like paste.
Drink some more fucking water.
Drink some fucking water.
Have
Eat some pineapples, man.
He needs an IV stat.
No, he's got some sort of. Why does he look like that? That's so funny. What a goof.
I think he probably just accidentally turned his camera on to know where he was. Fever dream.
He was finishing up on Chatterbait, and he joined the chat. He was finishing up on Chatterbait, and he accidentally
finished Omegle.
Yeah.
Oh man,
dude. Steve goes on Omegle and is one of those people that fucking jerks off on Omegle. Surprise!
Surprise me.
Do you guys feel like Shia LaBeouf is low key made like the best decisions of any actor in our generation, that generation of young actors?
Yes, except for this movie.
In what sense?
Oh, okay, that's good to know because I was thinking about how he's like a controversial figure, but
I think
I was gonna say
Shia LaBeouf, in my opinion. I'm so sorry to cut you off. Did you want to say it before me?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I wanted to clarify the question: if you meant in his life as an actor and a public figure, or movie choices.
Only movie choices.
Got it.
He's overshadowed by his bad behavior, I guess, but then he just has like made up for it by being like, yeah, if I'm in something, it seems to be 9 times out of 10 going to be good, but apparently not with the tax collecting.
Well, I would say 100% yes. And now, James, what did you need from me?
Yeah. Now, James, you.
What did you need from me? Okay, hold.
James, what do you need from?
Is he farting or? He's
he's
got a question. Yes, James.
Oh, James has a yeah.
I can actually.
Oh no, he did just have to fart. Okay.
No, I agree with you 100%. I think even still, this movie, like every review about this movie, was just like, at first, like, so it's it seems to be very stereotypical of like Latino communities and like gang lifestyles within like LA, Latino communities, South Central, stuff like that. It seems to be at first glance very, very, very stereotypical. And I was like, this movie like just came out. How is this like, this movie seems like it was made in the 90s. Like it's so just like derivative and stereotypical. But apparently a lot of the critic reviews I was reading was saying that there seemed to have been care taken in the representation of those communities based on like who they got to play in it and stuff like that, like the actors and the certain lifestyle things were very accurate. But in my opinion, this movie was shit.
Wow.
And the only good thing about it was Shia. And I want to tell you both, don't even waste time watching it because I want to spoil something for you. Okay.
Well, I want to watch it now.
Don't watch it, man. It's an hour.
If it's a Shia movie, I'm gonna watch it.
We'll watch it anyways, but you're still gonna be pissed at this either way. Like whether I tell you or whether you see it yourself.
There you go.
Spoiler alert, everyone, for the tax collector. Right as shit gets going. Spoiler alert for the tax collector, everyone. Right as shit starts to get going, literally, it's like kind of boring the entire time, just building up like a shitty plot. super basic. And then it finally starts to get going. And then this kind of dope little fight scene breaks out. And I'm like, okay, shit's going to get going. And then they like kidnap Shia's character and just fucking kill him. And it's so boring. And I'm like, man, understand the movie you're making. Mm-hmm. This is the character that's the only reason why people are still watching. The second you kill this character, all right, I'm going to watch something else. Like,
is it the character or was it the fact that it was Shia and everything else was bad? It's that time of the podcast where we thank our sponsor, our beautiful sponsor. Kind of the best sponsor you could ever have on this episode of the podcast. Warby Parker. Thank you so much to Warby Parker for sponsoring us today. You know, Warby Parker was founded with a rebellious spirit and a lofty goal to create boutique quality eyewear at a revolutionary price point, offering eyeglasses, sunglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams. Warby Parker is committed to providing exceptional vision care online and in stores. Their glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses, sunglasses, progressives, and blue light lenses are also available. I'm a big fan of blue light lenses. I have a pair of Warby Parker blue light lenses that I use quite often because I'm sitting at the computer gaming and editing and making music all the time, and it completely takes away a huge percentage of probably my eye fatigue. My blue light glasses are dope, though. They look kind of like James's actual glasses, and I know he's gotten many glasses from them. Steve's gotten glasses from them, and they love them. They look great. It's like a signature look for them now. It's super easy to get the home try-on kit, and you get to try it out, see what your friends think, and if you like them, you get them. If you don't, you send them back. And the cool thing about Warby Parker is for every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need. Almost 1 billion people worldwide lack access to glasses. That means that 15% of the global population cannot effectively learn to work, which is crazy because glasses were invented 700 years ago, and Warby Parker partners with nonprofits like Vision Spring to ensure that every pair of glasses sold, a pair is distributed to someone in need. So if you need help choosing frames, take the quiz, answer a few quick questions, and they'll suggest some great looking glasses that are totally personalized to fit your face and style. Try Warby Parker's free home try-on program. Order 5 pairs of glasses to try on at home for free for 5 days. There's no obligation to buy them. It ships free and includes a prepaid return shipping label. 5 pairs of glasses. You can do it for free at warbyparker.com/pine. Go to warbyparker.com/pine to try 5 pairs of glasses home for free. That's http://warbyparker.com/pine. You got nothing to lose, only something to gain. You can save 15% when you purchase 2 or more pairs of Warby Parker prescription eyewear, includes eyeglasses or sunglasses, and this is a limited time offer. Did you know that? Did you know that? So thank you, Warby Parker, for sponsoring this episode. You guys know what to do. Enjoy the. I'm not going through puberty. Enjoy the podcast.
Yeah, let's dive into this.
Let's dive into this because,
like, was the story or the character development bad? He was the only thing that seemed to have any care, and I think that's if it was what Shia was bringing to the table.
Exactly. Yeah. So what I was saying is, if it was a different actor, not as good as Shia, you might have a different opinion because easily. Shia was the reason why you're like, oh. So they didn't know that when they were writing the script and casting for it. They thought everything's going to hold up. And then they get there and then they're like,
yeah, but like a lot of times when and this happens on TV more than it does in movies, but it could happen with movies depending on like how rigorous their schedule is. They'll change the script once they see like, oh, fuck, this actor's so fucking good. We need to give him more time. They'll change the script. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I don't think they had a script.
Yeah,
like this. I'm telling you, this movie's so bad, so bad. And then the movie I watched after, real quick, just to finish up my segment, my little segment. Sure. James watched 2 movies.
James watched 2 movies high.
I wasn't high. I don't get high anymore.
But it's just part of the story.
Okay, so I was high last night.
Right on.
And
oh heck yeah,
the second the second movie I watched, another crime movie, Hell or High Water.
Oh, I think I've seen Hell or High Water.
If you haven't, watch it.
No.
Okay. I'm not going to. I don't watch it.
Such a real, like, human kind of like bank robbery movie. Takes place in Texas, and it's just super like low key and gritty, and such a tight script. It's Taylor Sheridan, who also wrote Sicario and Wind River, so he's like one of the most like tight writers in Hollywood right now. Hell or High Water, so good. So good.
What's it about? I feel like I've seen
it's about these two brothers.
It's in Texas. It's about a bank robber. It's super gritty. It's written by the same guy who wrote Cesario. And just check it out. It's really good. James really liked it.
It's really good.
I saw it on his
James
segment.
really liked it. He saw it on my
So
segment.
it's
He
like
talks about it in his...
Stario. It's like Stario and Luigi.
Exactly, yeah.
Stario.
Okay,
With
It's like
Bob
stereo.
Hoskins. Yeah.
It's like
Dude,
Stereo.
Super Mario
It's
Brothers
totally
movie.
Stereo.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that fucking movie.
Will
seen it.
not ever. I saw that before I was
Born.
old enough to understand what quality was. And it just imprinted on me as like a fun, good movie. I was like, this must be what it's really like in the video game.
Yeah.
Like this is a perfect film. Tried rewatching it later. Not a high
Doesn't hold
quality
up.
film. So I
Doesn't
just
hold
don't
up.
watch
So
it, but
different.
I like to, yeah, it is different. It's imaginative.
Yeah.
It's just failed. It's failed. But anyway, I don't want to take away from what you're talking about with this.
No, that's
this
it.
other film.
You know, this is the first of my segment. So we'll
First
get
of
it
many.
better. We'll get it better in the end.
We'll
But,
get
No,
this
the reason
again.
why I want to
We'll do
end
this
my
again.
segment here is because I want to talk.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you more, Elliot.
And we were going to talk about the woods.
Not even the wood.
true.
Not even the woods. We don't even have to talk
Just
about
rent.
the woods.
Just our story. We don't have to. Just we had so many fond memories, dude.
Oh yeah, let's
Elliot,
talk
did
about the
you and me
woods.
sleep- No, we didn't sleep in the same bed. I thought we did. We didn't sleep in the same bed.
No, we did not sleep in the same bed.
No,
What
dude.
was your
we were.
interpretation of the whole thing? Did you have a fun time? Did you think it was a shit show, or was it exactly what it was supposed to be? And don't hold back now, you hear?
Kip, it was all of the above. It was
Yeah.
absolutely a shit show.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
one filled with ambition and recklessness that I very much enjoyed. Seemed like everybody was being fairly insane. I was split between doing other things, so I was coming and going a couple times. Everybody was very patient with me, I feel like. Very fun to get attacked by a monster and roll around in the dirt.
Yeah,
and
you got
scream.
fucked. You got fucked up.
You got
Yeah.
fucked, bro. That fucking monster shoved his claws so far up your ass.
It seemed like it.
to
and I'm
this side
glad,
of
you know,
Mississippi.
I'm glad I didn't know that it was going to be edited to look like that because I would have been in my head and wouldn't been able to be in the moment with my performance.
Yeah,
But,
it would have felt too good.
You would have been
was
like
very fun.
playing up your ass more, like arching your back, like sticking your ass up more.
Well, yeah, and do you guys...
My prostate.
Yeah, it would have been too much. It would have been over the top. But do you guys, unlike the subtlety that I brought to the table the first time, but do y'all, I may have told you this, but like on the first day of shooting, I had like an edible cookie and like,
Yes.
and it hit. And then I remember doing a take and I remember James, or maybe it was you, kid, but one of you guys were like, Elliot, you're like such a professional. Like it's so clear what a professional
That was
you
probably
are.
James. I
You
would
are.
never say something like
Yeah,
that.
and I was like,
I don't think I would have said
Like-
that either.
yeah, somebody said
was
it.
It was me.
James. It was.
Yeah, it was James. And I remember being like, thanks, man. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to stay focused. And I was like, this was a bad idea. I feel like such an idiot. But then it was just like everybody was insane. So it was very fun.
No, we were all having a great time, dude. I was
It was camp.
honestly drunk
summer
half
camp.
the time.
It was like camp. Yeah, we were all drunk and
Yeah.
having a good time, and you know, it's crazy.
I
man.
remember,
It's
dude.
wild.
Yeah, no, me and you would fucking be drinking bourbon like half the time. We would go up to the room and drink bourbon before an intense scene because that's what you do as an actor. You get drunk. You don't act. You don't
Any
act.
real actor here is still like, you fucking fools. You're
rely
making a
on
mockery of my
substances.
industry.
That's
of
what
my art,
that's what
my
actors
craft.
do. You get drunk before an emotional scene.
You could drink some poison.
Yeah.
And you.
Yeah,
you
it was
do
very good. It was very fun, a fun time, but really weird too. I'm glad it worked out as well as it did. It turned out great.
It's a lot of fun, man. I
was a
wanted
good
The whole
time.
time
do
of
that
my
again.
life is punctuated with weirdness, so it's a lot of
Yeah.
just sift through the memories and be like, what was I doing
Yeah.
at that time? It
Yeah.
was like pre-Valley focus, trying to get stuff off the ground, and it was a tough time in life, so that was a nice reprieve, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad whoever couldn't do it. I think it was James.
James on
Alan.
McKellen. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, could do it. Worked out great.
Yeah, it was fun. Everyone just really like took it serious, but also had a really great time and just like were excited to do their best at whatever it was, whether they felt fully qualified or not. Everyone just jumped right into the role they were
Yeah.
given head first.
Yeah.
And just had a good
Owned
time.
it.
Except, I don't know, I'd have to say John Redlinger was kind of a hard ass.
I liked it.
Me too. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
great. He got so fucking pissed at us, dude. I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but when everyone left in the whole place, no, it was the last day, and we were all supposed to clean. Not even all. It was supposed to be like me, James, and like the people who we're bringing this thing together. We were gonna clean, and whoever else, maybe Jamie and Mimi, and me, Steve, and James wake up, and I don't think anyone's really gotten started with the day or anything yet, and we fucking take off to go get food. We go to the diner, and we're just fucking eating fucking food, and we come back, and everyone's so fucking pissed at us, dude, because they're cleaning, and like there's messes, and there's blood stains on the fucking carpet on the inside, and we're gonna get charged for it.
Did you get charged? Did that end up being horrible?
I think we got banned from ever returning.
Yeah, we got banned from ever returning. Yeah, which is
fair.
It's very fair. And honestly, like, it was very like unprofessional of us, and we were just, we were like, no excuses. We were just like young idiots back then, and we were like on the high of like everything that we were doing at the time, and it was shitty. Like we didn't treat that cabin with as much respect as we should have, for sure. And it sucks because like
part
that was
of that was the time crunch.
It was the time crunch too, but at the end of the day, we were able to clean it, except for some of the blood stains that were on the carpet, which I believe they were able to get out.
I scrubbed it with the fucking, I was there fucking scrubbing too. Like we did try, we did clean. It's just,
when you say it out loud like that, we're like, we were able to get it clean except for a couple of the blood stains. You can understand.
Yeah, well, there's no way they're not going to be able to pull any evidence from it.
Like, we didn't fuck it up and go, fuck it. Like, we really tried with the time crunch, but we could have tried harder. So
there you go. That's your statement. That's your Airbnb review.
That's my Airbnb. We could have probably done a better job cleaning. That blood would knock them out. We had this fucking foam stuff, the stuff that would foam up.
Dude, that was so funny because, like,
dude,
No, you go.
It's a tangent. I don't know if you want to hear about this tangent.
I was just going to say real quick.
About it all.
I do want to hear about it 100%. Keep it.
Don't lose the tangent.
Because we were shooting like 20-hour fucking days. We had like 4 hours.
Oh, it's so illegal, yeah.
And so when we went to bed, because we were all in the upstairs bedroom, me, Kip, and Steve were in one bed, and then you and Devin were in another bed. A guy you never met before in your life, and you're sharing a bed with him. But dude, so like, I don't know why, but like, I think we were just so buzzing off like just what we were doing that like we couldn't sleep. And Steve was just like telling me and Kip these fucking stories.
Oh my, I hated it, bro.
You hated it?
I was pissed. I was because I wanted to go to fucking sleep. Dude, I was like, we laugh? Our job is to laugh. I need to sleep right now. We do this all day.
So me and Steve,
deep. What a deep statement. My job is to laugh.
Dude.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't have time for this joy.
This is no good. But like, with the work we were doing, the hours, I was like, we have to be up in 3 hours. This is not what I need. And I was laughing, but I was so mad because I was like, we're going to feel terrible tomorrow. And we have to do this. And it's our baby. And the less sleep we get, the worse it's going to be. And this laugh ain't worth ruining the baby.
And meanwhile, Steve's like, okay. And she's 60 years old. And she had an ass.
Yeah.
Barely,
dude. That was so good. Yeah.
It was very funny.
And I couldn't stop laughing, and I kept being like, more. I
was like, no more.
And then finally Devin was like,
meanwhile,
shut
I was
the
just
fuck
in the other bed 3 feet away.
Dude, Devin was actually pissed, and I was just like laughing and being like, come on, shut the fuck up, man. We gotta sleep.
I'm just like the new kid who like, I don't know you guys that well.
Yeah.
So you were
I'm like, I don't care. I like just
Elliot's just
I'm gonna
like,
sleep, guys.
Fuck this.
I was like, she just had an ass that just didn't know how to use it. I was whispering that to Devin the whole time.
She had such a nice ass. Barely, but she knew how to use it.
She knew how to use it. I was just Devin, we can start our own club over here.
That was
those side of the cabinet.
Man. That was awesome, and that's I want to do something like that again. My goal is to shoot a short film, like an ambitious short film, but a good, not the same type of ambition where we're trying to shoot a 30-page script in 3 days. Like I'm talking about like
2 kinds of ambition.
Was it 3 nights, 4 days?
It was it was literally 3 or it was the 4th day was cleanup.
4 days. Yeah.
So it was 3 shoot
because like
days.
30 pages and you guys were getting 10 pages of shooting done.
Yeah. And we didn't cut anything, dude. Like, when you're shooting,
didn't seem like it.
You cut scenes to be like, we can't make this. We didn't cut anything, dude. I'll pull the fucking script up. We shot 30 pages, bro. That's crazy.
Insane.
Like, talk about ambition. It's bad.
I wish it was so much better, and then it would be even better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
For what it was,
that's okay.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When you say it was a 3-day, 30-page, young people who've never done anything like this before, scraping together their friends and working 20-hour days, like that's as goddamn good as it gets, man. Under those conditions, it's as good as it gets, dude.
For sure. I'm very proud of us for that.
Me too.
Because we just did
should
it.
be proud.
We just
Truly.
fucking did it. That's the thing, and that's what.
That's the kind of.
That's your fucking cum sock, dude.
They just did it. Yeah.
Oh fuck! Even if it wasn't, dude, that's still a sock, bro.
I gotta get my protein. Come on. Let it
Elliot,
roll.
you're going back. You're going back to school. You're taking some classes.
I'm taking some classes. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I fuck with that.
Yeah, dude, you told me about that a little while ago. You're like, I think I might do this someday. I don't know. I forget what you're in school for. Are you?
Yeah. I went back. No, I can talk about it a little bit. I got like
He did sign an NDA, but he can talk about it.
I did sign an NDA. They were very, very strict about it. No,
nothing crazy.
Exactly. It's just really important that I keep a tight lip about it. I'm very high profile. But it's basically it's called depth psychology, and it's about it's like many forms of psychology, but it's more based in like Freud and Jung and those types of dudes. So I'm a big Jung fan, Carl Jung. I don't know if you know anything about him. Here's one of his books. Here's a book from my professor.
Carl Jung. I don't know if you know too much about him. Here's one of his books.
Here's one of his books. There's a couple more books up there. But yeah, basically it's I did an interview and I was like, I want to do this. I was like, I do comedy. I was like, I want to learn about this and learn about the sort of people's motivations unconsciously for things. And I got in, and it's like a PhD, MA PhD program. And so I'm just kind of taking 2 classes a semester. And it's just a lot of reading, and it's a lot of like downloading info into my brain, but it's been really fun and challenging, and very, very different. It's all distance learning. And then you go to the campus once a semester, but they can't do that right now because of COVID, obviously. So it's been really great. It's just, really terrifying, and I feel really in over my head, and there's a little bit of like a fraud kind of like, who do you, like the world's falling apart, and I feel like I went into a program, and I'm like, there's this thing in the back of my head that's like, who do you think you are doing this crap right now?
No, but fuck that.
It feels, I know, you're right, but it feels like that. So I get very in my head, and then I start studying, and I'm like, oh no, this is like what I'm truly very interested in, and I'm excited to see what happens. Plus, there's no real stand-up going on right now, and there's no real entertainment industry happening. And then this was in the summer when I started thinking about going to school, and I was like, man, things are really just rough in the world right now. And I was like, I don't know if I'm really doing anything to help, because my life's really, I'm very blessed and I have a very comfortable life. And I was like, I need to make some kind of a sacrifice and challenge myself. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm on my 2nd semester now, and it's they're teaching us how to be scholars. It's not like a clinical psychology degree. It's like I have to add something to the field after the master's, and I have to figure out like a dissertation. I have to pitch it, and then there's like a clock, PhD clock. And then until then, they're like teaching us how to read critically and think critically. And then it's all these different concepts about like the death of the author and like how you can read stuff without thinking about who the author is. And if you do think about who the author is, it's a relatively new idea. So they're teaching us to kind of just strip everything down, look at it very objectively, and then think about what we think about it, and then critique it. And then we go back and forth with the professor on different things. So yeah, it's really, it's very fun. It's very, very interesting and very different and very, just very like, I was like, never knew there was a program like this. And then I tried it out and interviewed them, and they were like, yeah, I mean, this is kind of what it is. And you seem like a good fit. And then we just kind of started doing it. My girlfriend is also doing a different program at the same school.
Oh, cool.
Hers is more
you guys get to be school kids together.
We do. It's very
so fun.
cute.
Yeah,
it's very, very fun. She starts
That's
like
so
her
sweet.
schedule. It's so sweet. She'll start like her schedule like 3 weeks before I do. And then so she's always like a little ahead of me.
Yeah.
And then I'll be catching up. And so her term papers will be due, and she'll be freaking out. And then my term papers will be due.
You guys can support each other through it. You're like, listen, I ace mine. I don't know how you're going to do on yours.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's very much
it's
like
support. It's really important in a relationship. You know, you have to build the other person up. I mean, you know, because you did great on yours, but you don't know how they're going to do. And you got to be honest with them.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you did. You did great on yours.
Yeah, you did great.
We have no idea.
You aced it, man. And she's probably,
if anything, she's fucked.
Yeah, it's a tough
one.
She's
not
tough one.
I mean, she's drowning. I mean, I did get an A on one of them though, and I was like,
did that feel good?
Deserve. It did actually, and then the notes were like, it was kind of like an intro class, and I was like, I figured I'd do pretty well, but I did really well. And now this new class though, they're like, I got notes because I said the word essential instead of important, and essential implies that something is essential but important. Yeah, and they were like, well, technically this was not these two ideas were not essential to each other. They're just important to each other, or that might be a better word to use in the future.
Because essential is like
thought about that. That's so.
And did you
silly.
argue and go, well, that's a subjective opinion, you bastard?
I did. And they love that. I know that's a subjective opinion, and it is essential that you give me an A on this.
It is essential that you give me an A.
Like, you seem like somebody from the internet. You seem annoying.
Are you a YouTuber?
Well, yes.
Exactly.
So, Elliot, what do you think? Where's this going to lead you? What do you want to do with this? You come out of there, like you said, you kind of have to. I don't know the actual terminology for it, but you have to like bring something to the table to specialize in, rather than just being like, I'm going to fall in line with these things that are offered. And then what do you do?
My goal will be to basically be able to do a lot of writing and write different books and do different public speaking types of things that'll mix like comedy and that kind of thing. So I want to basically take these ideas that I think are pretty relevant and popularize them and make them funny and approachable to people, because I think that we're heading in a direction right now in society that I think is probably not very good. So I want to be able to have like as much armor as I can and as much, structure around me, and then be able to just sort of help particularly young men, I think, are struggling a lot right now. So I want to do something with that. And I'm a little worried about social media and where that's headed. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of topics that I can add something to if I have a foundation. And besides that, I don't know. I don't know what the overall plan is. But I'm also going like, you know how it is out here where you're like, I don't know if it's going to be what life is going to look like in this industry in the next 5 years. And it's like, I want to make sure I have as much of a resume as possible. So if I want to do something like comedy writing, I can go, I'm a comedy writer. I also understand this, and this, and I can do this for you. And I think it'll be,
you're building up your
like
arsenal.
Job insurance.
Yeah.
It's scary though. I mean, it's scary because it's like it's school, and I feel over my head, but that's the plan.
I think you're supposed to, you know what I mean? And like, especially not having to be in that kind of mindset for a while. And then you jump into like this intense, like your brain is now a fucking hard drive times fucking a million. Like there's just so much information. Like, it's gotta be tough.
It's tough to process it, but it's all stuff like I've known and knew prior. But now that I'm like learning it in depth, I'm like, oh, I knew nothing. Like I actually knew absolutely nothing about this. And then they'll be like, okay, your reading assignment for this week is chapters 1 through 11 and chapter 13, but it's like a 13 chapter book. I'm like, I gotta read like, and then
I have to read a whole textbook,
the whole book.
And I'm like, that's 2 books in a weekend. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, all right. And then it's like, you gotta do this post on it, and then they critique you on it. And then you're like, I don't even have time to process anything that I'm doing. So it's a little bit of a whirlwind.
That's where that critical thinking comes in. And you said something about stripping it down in a way where you can understand it without having to be overwhelmed with all the information.
Basically, yeah. And make it not overwhelmed by going, what did they mean by this? It's this whole, I've never even heard of it, but apparently they were like, this is how they're like, if you want to become a scholar in this, you have to learn these methods of approaching the material so that you can stick with the reading and then add your own thing without trying to guess what the author meant by it. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how. I don't know how that's different than me just reading it, but okay. So it's fun.
Is that kind of like, because when you, especially when it's like a well-known author, right, that like has an opinion that's clear and is like a reputation that like what they believe and stuff like that, instead of like thinking at it from their perspective and like seeing it through their lens, you're like, okay, no, this is like the subject matter that's being stated and the things that are being talked about. I'm looking at them alone and taking it from there, rather than like, and what Jung is saying here is blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly.
That's tough.
Instead, it's going, who cares what Jung thought or was getting at? It's like, it's exactly that. You read it and then you try to just take it at face value. and then build off of it. And they say by doing that, you can catch like nuances and stuff that you wouldn't if you just read it through the perspective of being like, oh, this is what this person thought.
I mean, it's tough,
but it's good because it's. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's tough to do that because we're people and we want to experience something. Exactly. When we want to relate, we want to experience something through the lens of like another person's perspective. That's why, like, even in a movie, like, most of the time there's at least one character, whether it's the protagonist or another character, that's like the audience, what's the word? Stand-in, basically. That, like, you're supposed to see the story and everything in the world through this person's lens, because that's how you relate to things. So it's like, doing things exactly objective. Like, I'm not a big fan of objective things. I think so much, I mean, everything in the world is gray. There's no black and white. And it's so tough to be objective with things that aren't like math. You know, like I'm subjective about everything. And I applied, sorry if I'm going totally on a tangent.
No, I'm ready. I love it.
I applied to this job at CBR, which is comicbookreviews.com. And they asked me to write up like an article and an example article. And they were like, and keep it objective about like, you know, something. And so I chose, like, I wrote this little article about Batman, and I was so subjective. And I realized, oh, I don't want to write something if it's not subjective, because then it's boring to me, because then it's just stating facts pretty much. Or like, because you can't, like, I like to speculate about some things, not all things. And I like to like explore things from a lens of like, you start with like a theory or something and you explore it through that. Like, so.
Yeah, I see that. Unless it's like interesting facts that you didn't know, you know, delivered in a way that was interesting, but that just requires a good writer to take those.
I think everything
facts,
starts subjectively and then can become objective. I don't think, like I said, unless it's math, I don't think things can start as a fact unless it's like a definition of something, you know what I mean? But like, as far as
I don't know, Elliot's hot, and that's a fact.
That is a fact.
No, man.
But you know what I mean? Like, it starts, you start, especially like in the sciences, you start with a theory or an opinion on something that you think that this is going to happen, that you observe that this is going to happen, and then you prove that it will happen. Unless I'm stupid.
Could be.
Math is pretty, math might be one of the few exceptions, because you're like, 2 + 2 is going to equal 4.
So therefore,
pretty much all the time.
Yeah, no, I take back everything.
So there's 4. Yeah, no, that's right. I think you're right, though. I mean, that's what they were talking about, that with the critical reading stuff, where they were like, you read it this way, and then they're like, don't think of critical as trying to poke holes in it. They were like, think of critical as creative and use your imagination. But when you use your imagination, you will find that you are criticizing the material, but the only way you can do that accurately is if you read it objectively and you forget like the backstory behind it, and then you can bring in your backstory later. You can bring in what you know about the author once you've taken it at face value. And I was like, that is like,
that's very complicated.
I kind of hated it. It, yeah, because I was like, that's wrinkling my brain a little bit. But it is a fun challenge, and it's a nice it's a nice balance to the Valley Folk stuff a little bit. It keeps me kind of my head going.
It keeps you like feeling like you're growing and you're like gaining knowledge and you're expanding your brain. You're not just like,
yeah, which I could do easily. I was like, if I don't do something, I'm gonna just sink into I can just watch TV all day, which I'm pretty good at anyway. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. It's very, very nice, very awesome, nerve-wracking, and very fun.
I would love to like
exciting,
talk more about that, and just like off podcast, just like, I don't know, go to a bar or something, you and me.
No cool conversations out of the podcast.
Let's just go to a bar.
Well, hey, when they start, they're opening back up, apparently. Yeah, I'll go to White House.
No way. Are you being serious with me right now?
I mean, they just announced it yesterday, I think. Newsom
that the stay-at-home order's gone, right? They lifted that?
Yeah. Isn't that what that means?
We don't have to stay at home.
I mean, I'm still going to.
Yeah,
I'm going to stay at home as well.
I've now,
this virus
me and everyone else, we've now established a life, a year's worth of a life that's at home. So now we don't need to go outside anymore. And that sucks.
We're self-sufficient, dude, in a way that keeps us in our fucking bedroom all day.
Keeps us in our fucking lane.
I don't have to leave.
Oh, fuck. Where's my vape? I'll be right back.
Stimulus checks. James, I thought you quit. He's been addicted.
Vase.
Do you smoke? Do you nicotine smoke?
I have struggled with it in the past.
Me too.
Very much. And I don't like it. I feel like it's one of those things where I was like, it won't get me.
Yeah.
And I was wrong.
While you're smoking, you feel like I literally could quit. I don't want to. And when I do,
are you guys talking about quitting
easy.
Vaping?
Yeah,
come on.
And
yeah, basically.
I'm on and off the horse all the time now.
Hey, that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote, dude. It's so fucking hard, man. I'll stop for like, if I'm by myself,
never.
I can do it. I think what I've discovered is this is just what addiction is. But when I'm just by myself and I don't have one, all good. But then the moment there's someone who has one and gives you any kind of inkling of some sort of green
gives you
light,
any amount of attention, yeah.
Any kind of attention,
anything.
I'm horny.
Smile,
I'm horny
eye contact.
and I'm ready.
Eye contact especially. Careful.
Especially
don't look me in the eye or else you're mine.
They say
dude,
it
it's
takes
just fucking hard.
Yeah.
They say it takes like 4 days, like 4 or 5 days for it to get out of your system for you to stop the physical addiction. And then after that, it's all the psychological addiction of thinking that it's actually going to make you feel.
Well, someone told me that the psychological addiction is caused by the physical addiction.
There's definitely a correlation, and it depends on the substance.
It might,
but it's. I think it definitely. I think might start with the physical addiction, and then it becomes a psychological addiction, which is like much harder to break. Like that's
one that fucks
the habit.
The habit,
like
dude. That's what it fucking is.
Grabbing something.
It's the habit.
Holding it, the weight of it in your hand.
Like, because I found myself
something
like,
to do.
I was just fucking playing my Switch yesterday, and I was just sitting here just like feet up on the desk, just fucking playing my Switch, and like I kept like grabbing it and then fucking hitting it and then grabbing my water and drinking my water and then hitting it and drinking my water and like doing that, and like I'm playing fucking Pokemon, so like in between the very short little loading screens, like where you're starting a Pokemon battle or something, I'm like, what am I gonna do for these 3 seconds? Oh, I'm gonna vape.
What are you gonna do?
And it's just, I think it's also just like the like societal ADD, like not actual ADD.
Yep.
It's the societal ADD of like needing your attention to be on something at every moment of all time. So that, I mean, you wonder why people can't sleep anymore. It's just overstimulation in every aspect of life.
Yeah,
it's like a fake productivity thing too. It's like, oh yeah, here's something that I'm doing. And it's like,
it's like just because you're moving, just because,
yeah.
It's like you could be putting
like
that energy into something else, but you're not.
My thing too is I'm so weak. Like I'll be strong, but one moment of opportunity, and I might, maybe it has to be the addiction in my brain that literally changes my opinion and thought process of why I'll do it. Well, if I hit it once now, it's fine. No, it's not. And okay, well, I'm not home. I'm away somewhere. I'll just hit it here, and then I just won't be hitting it when I get home, and it's all gets once in a while thing. Like it's just like your brain. Your brain will just like allow you to do it. It's got to be the addiction. And like, do you ever shake 100%. That, or is that an addiction thing that you have forever?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's willpower too, and it's tough to like. It's tough to work on your willpower, dude. Like that's something I've been trying to be mindful of lately, and it's even harder when you're aware of like the fact that you have bad willpower, because then you're like hyper aware on the fact that like, fuck, I want to just be able to do this thing without interruption. But maybe that's like an impossible standard too, because like that's life.
Yeah.
I did this series of books by this guy named Alan Carr. I heard about it from a comedian named Nikki Glazer, who was talking about how she quit drinking. And I was like, well, this sounds interesting, because I wanted to quit drinking. And I was like, it's the same thing where I felt like I don't have the willpower. And this Alan Carr guy is called like the easy way to quit drinking or something, or the easy way to control your drinking. And it's this whole book that's like anti-willpower. And he's like, he was like, willpower is a lie. He was like, do not believe that. He was like, you do not need it. Here's why you don't need it. And it spends the whole book going through it. And he goes, by the end of this book, you will no longer want to pick up a drink, but keep drinking throughout the book. It's like, drink as much as you want. And then at the end, you're not going to want to do it anymore. And it's a little hypnotic. I think it's a little bit of like playing with my mind. But I listened to it on audio, and it worked for like a while. Eventually, I went back to drinking, but way more in moderation. And it's like, now what I was doing before was crazy. So I'm like, this guy, you might want to check it out if you're interested in like
I've heard of this, and there's one for smoking too, and it's the same thing. And he says like
same ideas.
Smoke during this, and you're not going to want to smoke by the end of it. Yeah,
yeah. And he basically just plays to your common sense, and he's like, you're not enjoying this. He's like, you're convinced you're enjoying it and you're convinced you need it, but really what you want is the absence of not having it so you can build up that desire. So you have to get through that and then not complain, not think about it.
I heard about some of that,
like, all right.
but
that's interesting.
My question is, and since you've read it, maybe you can answer. I go, well, what if my answer, or when they say like you don't enjoy it, and I go, oh no, yeah. When I take a hit of the vape and my head feels numb and fucking, I literally feel great. That's what I like about smoking.
Well, that's the thing,
and all the other things, and all the other
constantly
things.
Chasing though, like that's the idea of like a gateway drug too. Like the idea of that, you start with one drug and you start chasing that high, and eventually that one drug doesn't do it for you, so you move on to a different drug that ups that thing. So it's constantly chasing that feeling of uplifting yourself in some way, shape, or form. But in reality, it's like it's finding what about it you're after.
He talks, I think, because I've read both of them, and I think he talks about how like the difference between the alcohol and the nicotine is that like it's easier to convince people who are drinking too much that they should stop drinking, because you can convince them that they're really not getting anything out of it. You can convince them that they're destroying their finances, that they're ruining their lives, they're ruining their relationships. He's like, with nicotine is different because people do get like a little high out of it. They do get a little bit of like pleasure in their brain. So you have to assess that alongside everything else. But yeah, he talks about it a little bit, but I know what you mean, because it's like the same thing where I'm like, no, I know what that high is. That like little buzz that makes you kind of takes you away from.
We call it getting domed. Like literally, you just feel good. It just feels really, really good, and you're like, oh fuck yeah, that feels so good. And like if I can, even if life's great and everything's fine, add feeling fucking great, this other little thing that makes me feel great 7 times throughout the day when my life's great. I love it.
7, so that's anywhere between 7 and 70 times a day.
Dude, so that's it's like the only reason I want to quit is for my health, because I love it.
Same.
I
felt great.
I just don't want to have lung
That's a good reason though.
I had quit vaping back in March, and it was just the circumstances all worked out. It wasn't like me, like I'm a cold turkey quitter kind of person. Like if I quit something, I quit cold turkey, because I can't wean myself off of something. I don't have going back to the willpower thing. I don't have the willpower to be like a little bit less each time until it's gone. Like I can't do that. I have to just stop and then deal with like the week or two of being annoyed. And then it's like, I forget about it. And so back in March when I first quit vaping, like it was right when the lockdown started. And my coil in my remember my big ass fucking vape that I used to have? The huge one, Elliot? Yeah. So
I've had some of it.
You have had some of it. Yeah. The coil in it burnt.
I died.
It burned. And then I was like, oh, fuck. I don't want to hit this now because it's disgusting. I can't just go to the store and get another coil. And then I ordered one online, but it was right when lockdown happened. So everything was like back ordered. So it wasn't going to get there for like 3 weeks. And I was like, fuck, all right. I guess I won't vape until I get it. 3 weeks go by. I had forgotten about vaping. It comes in the mail.
Because you knew you could, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like it was over. It was just like.
Yeah. Finally comes in the mail. I put in the new coil, but my vape had been like, I don't know if it was just because it was out of service for like 3 weeks, but it was like fucked up and it was leaking and it was like just fucked. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I threw it away and I was done. But I was also smoking a lot of weed at the time. So I think that the fixation was taken up with the weed.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me about that.
And I also think that since I was smoking so much weed and I was high like every day, I had forgotten that I wanted to vape also. Like just the idea of it wasn't there. It wasn't in the forefront of my brain. So like the circumstances lined up. But now with the vaping, now that I'm back on the horse, I'm like, okay, well, am I going to have to replace it with something? Is that going to make it easier to it? Or should I just quit cold turkey and like, it'll just take a little bit of time?
I think you should quit. I don't really, even though I like the Alan Carr stuff, I feel like it like is a little oversimplified and kind of a little like Jedi mind tricky. And so I think more often than not, when I've struggled with this stuff, it's because there's something going on in the background of my life that I'm not dealing with, I'm taking out on myself and punishing myself for. So to replace it makes it like you know that thing is a replacement, which makes you think about the thing you're replacing, and it just gives more power to the nicotine, where it's as if you're just like, no, I'm gonna process the stress that not doing this gives me, then maybe you can kind of break through whatever it is. That's my guess. That's my hope anyway.
Yeah, it's a good guess. I mean, it sounds right, and I definitely agree that it has to.
Well, Jung says actually in page.
What's Jung say? What's Jung think about that? Honestly,
what does addiction actually is, I think he talks a lot about it, and it's it basically, according to him, is a sign that you it's a neurotic impulse. Something is repressed inside you that you can't deal with, and so you're punishing yourself for some reason. And if you can talk it out, you can talk something that you can probably get to the core of what you're dealing with. I don't remember.
That's so interesting. So, but say you get to the core of the thing, doesn't make it go away.
It can.
You got deep-rooted issues. Like you. It's like unless I guess maybe you go to therapy, because say you've got all these questions or these deep-rooted things that come up. There's relief in having the answers, but then what?
I think it's just
it's
maybe it's just exploring the understanding of it instead of resisting the understanding. You know what I mean? It's like
and it's a coping mechanism to distract yourself.
Yeah, and I think that really resonates. And when I quit smoking weed over the summer, was right. It was kind of like, again, the circumstances all kind of lined up for this to happen. It was like the catalyst of me stopping smoking weed and also having a mental breakdown, and also having so much, like, not necessarily repressed things that like came out of nowhere, but things that I was both consciously and subconsciously not, like, choosing not to think about, all coming up at the same time. And it was like, as I was in this area of like exploring my mental health and trying to better myself, and like practicing like mindfulness and just meditation and prayer and all these things, and like not resisting all the negative things necessarily, but kind of like letting them hit me and going through the rough time of like exploring those things. I felt great doing it, because I knew that like by doing it, it was going to lead to like growth and healing. But now I'm in a mindset where like that all isn't on the forefront of my brain anymore. I'm kind of like back in the rut of life. You know what I mean? Where like I'm distracting myself with things. I'm working on things that are awesome, and I feel really good about like kind of the direction I'm going, like career wise and work wise and stuff, and passion wise. But I miss that like yearning to grow and heal, you know? And I've been, every day I'm like, James, you know, do your affirmations every morning like you were doing. I was doing it for like 4 months straight. I did affirmations every single morning, and it felt so good. And I haven't been doing them for the past like other 4 months, because I just started to feel better. And I was like, I don't need the like these tools anymore. But that's the key, is like, just because you feel better doesn't mean you should stop doing those things that made you feel good. You continue to do that.
But yeah, I mean, at the same time, I get it, because I'm like, you know, if you're having to do affirmations to maintain a level of peace, then that also could be like a, you know, vape pen or something, where it's like, what's going on that you even need the affirmations? Like, what's going on what are you not hearing in your own head that you're having to write out on a piece of paper to supplement that? Yeah. But I don't know.
No, that's true.
No, that's interesting.
You're asking the wrong person.
That's very interesting. That's very true.
I don't know the answers.
You could be a therapist, maybe, man. You know?
I don't think I'd be a good one.
I'm going into therapy.
Good.
Very soon for the first time.
Give it a go.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have a lot of really good sessions. I think it's going to be hard for you, because like, you know, you and me have had very real talks many times. And I think that you are going to benefit so well from that. Because there are things,
I hope so.
I know, because you've shared with me, I'm not going to go into any detail, but I know that there are things that are inside of you that you want to explore, but you don't know how. You know,
I've always said that. I was like, I don't know how to process things. I don't know how you're supposed to. Are you supposed to allow yourself to be depressed and just then what? And then you get over it because over time, like, or like your like childhood things or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, not there's crazy shit, but just like, in general, processing anything. What is the process of processing something?
Yeah.
How does one process anything?
We're not taught that, man.
Think about it, No one's. I have no idea.
That's the thing.
How
like,
you're supposed to process anything. And my thing is like it's just focus on good things, focus on happy things. But then I think I'm not processing. That's my vape pen. You know what I mean? So like, yeah,
and the vape pen.
That's just what it is. You think it's just literally thinking about it. Like that is processing it.
I think you have to speak it, and then I think you have to like sometimes you need to do the writing it down, but I think you have to talk to a human being who is good at hearing it. And then, I think it's great that you're going to therapy if they're a good therapist. But don't feel bad if they're a bad therapist. If you get a bad therapist, you gotta go get another therapist.
100%.
Right. I've been told that. Yeah, 100%. He's recommended from a good friend. So, all right, I trust it so far. But everybody's different. You know what I mean?
It is. Yeah, and that's such an important thing to keep in mind is that it's like finding, a partner or a friend. You have to find somebody that you can click with. Like my therapist, and I wish I could see her. I wish I had fucking health insurance that I could see her every week. Like my sister,
it's expensive, dude. It's so like expensive. $250 a session.
It's
so expensive.
It's just
crazy.
I mean, the whole fucking system's fucked.
Who's got
like,
that
the whole
kind of money, man?
Healthcare system in our country is totally fucked, and that's a bigger discussion. But it's like being able to talk to them every week. It also gives you like an anchor that whatever you're thinking about that week, not only are you probably being given tools and things to help you explore those things on your own, but you also know that like I'm going to have a time where I can talk about all these things and get all these things off my chest and explore these different things. Whereas before I might not have had that. And that's like a part of, I feel like we're the first generation that is becoming super mindful and concerned with mental health and like being able to talk about those things. Cause like even just the generation right above us, our parents, right? That wasn't them. So they didn't know the tools.
Even growing up as a kid, dude, it's like exactly to your point. Like if you heard someone was in therapy, it was like, oh, they must be batshit insane. There's something wrong with them.
Yeah, exactly. You think that there's something wrong with them. But you don't realize that that should be...
Everybody needs that.
Everybody needs it. It's the same idea of like getting a physical, going to the dentist for a checkup. Like you take care of all these parts of your body, you got to take care of your brain too. And there needs to be a doctor that you go to for that. Now I'm not for like necessarily just medicating everything away. I think that in a lot of situations, there's medication-free ways to address a lot of things. But obviously, there are different... disorders and mental illnesses and things that are chemical imbalances, and
it's like case by case.
Exactly. It's just like
it's a very real thing. Yeah, the depth psychology stuff is the reason it's called depth is because it kind of believes that a lot of the problems stem from like the neuroses and stuff stem from like your deepest parts of you, and a lot of the medicinal stuff in clinical psychology these days is like a top-down approach. It's like, okay, you're doing this, you feel this way, we're going to fix the way you feel, but it's not like sort of like turning off the check engine light and thinking that your car is going to be
big pharma, baby.
Big pharma and all that, and then you get people who think they need these drugs.
Big pharming.
They think they need this vape and this nicotine, and then
my doctor prescribed me nicotine, man, and I was like, Doc, I'm
back. Oh, you grew up in the 40s?
I'm fucking in, dude. Rub this fucking nicotine on your head. Your hair will grow back.
I'm prescribing you. I'm prescribing you 300 cigarettes.
Dude, I tried nicotine gum the other day. Literally
nicotine
yesterday.
Gum, dude. Nicorette.
No, it wasn't Nicorette. It was some random boutique company that was
Artisan.
Me, and then I
Artisan
never fucking talked to them.
Artisan
What's
nicotine
Artisan?
gum.
Cooler.
Artisan just is like
it was boutique, baby.
Artisan. What is Artisan?
Maybe it fucking was.
Artisan's like
it's like got different colors and. Is that Artisan?
No, Artisan is just like special, like small batch, like homegrown, like little things, like an artist, right? Like it's instead of like widely produced, it's like a really special, like
artisanal.
You meant it as an adjective, but I did think that it would be a perfect name for a new kind of
right. I was like, that's exactly what
gum.
Nicotine gum.
Artisan,
dude, guys,
I tried it.
Let's get into nicotine gum.
I was like, maybe this.
We just start taking it. That's it, though.
We're not quitting. We just love it,
dude. I thought it was exactly what I needed. I was like, this is perfect. Now I can just have one of these once in a while when I really need it, and it'll be a fucking blast.
You take it like a pill. You just swallow it. Oh, that was great. I feel great.
My stomach's fucked though. My stomach's fucking in Mars, baby, dude. So I didn't realize that it wasn't the same nicotine rush as smoking, and that it was only It was a 5 milligram piece of gum that I put in my mouth and chewed for like 2 minutes, and my mouth was numb. My whole body was vibrating, but not in a good way. Like it was
everything
too much. I hate about nicotine. It did nothing for my head. I didn't get the like, oh fuck yeah, that feels great. It was just my body feeling kind of sick and completely tingling. I was like, nothing's feeling good up here. It's all the bad shit. It's like when we used to do 10s. And no good here, all bad here. It was only that.
Because
and I was like, well,
nicotine
this is
gum
useless.
Was made to wean people off of cigarettes. So people that are smoking like 2 packs a day, they don't feel like you need that like big rush of thing to like you take 1 piece or 2 pieces a day and you get like 2 packs worth of fucking cigarettes. You know what I mean?
Awful. They're all awful.
It's all
everything's
awful. It's
brutal.
terrible.
Kids don't smoke. You know what I mean? It was all fun and games a couple years ago.
Oh, it was. It was so
no one really
fun.
knew anything about it, dude.
No one knew anything about nicotine like 2 years ago.
No one had a clue. Man.
It was still
the scientists no data.
I feel like the puff bars and vaping like is way past its peak of popularity, and everyone's just fucking addicted and miserable, dude. And like, oh man, this 14-year-old's like, man, I've been trying to quit for 5 years, dude. Like, no one's just like, it's not even like a cool thing anymore. It's back to like almost being like you smoke. It's not quite there, but I think it's getting in that direction from the dude.
It's back to the point that when you see somebody actually smoking a cigarette, you're like, oh, that looks cool. Versus vaping,
dude.
Where you're like, I kind of want to try cigarettes again.
I'll just smoke once in a while, and then I won't vape all the time. Maybe cigarettes can get me off the vape.
Especially on set. Like when I was on set, dude, like so everyone smoked cigarettes, and so I was smoking cigarettes, and I was like, this is dope.
It's
and
so
then
stinky,
it was so
dude.
I felt so bad because I was already fucking working 12-hour days, and I'm like, why am I smoking cigarettes? And like now I'm like,
it's so
sick.
stinky.
It's so smelly.
It's like if someone just rubbed dog shit on them all the time and always smelled like a little bit like dog shit.
Yeah.
And they don't really know it. And you give your boy a hug and you're like, oh, poop. Come on.
I would do it like in Vegas. I love Vegas, and I would go and I'd be like, I'm only going to do this in Vegas because it's
cigars.
Gross. Yep. Cigars. Yep. And then I got into it and I was like, oh, this is just, it fits the city. It fits the dinge.
Smoke
it makes
inside.
me feel so like I'm anonymous.
Yeah.
I'm
the
just very
smoking
like,
inside.
no one can see me.
Yeah. Is always what gets me.
The smoking side. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. And then
you guys want to go to Vegas?
I'm in,
more than anything.
I would love to
go.
Let's
fucking go. I think it's open. I think it is open.
Yeah,
it's open because they're insane.
They don't give a shit.
Let's go.
Vegas doesn't give a
shit. Yeah,
that was the city.
Dude.
Their own mayor was like, "We're going to be an experiment for the rest of the nation. We're opening up," and everyone was like,
doing?
"No, don't do that."
5 months later,
how are they doing?
Las Vegas was wiped off the map.
Just done.
Las Vegas
Ghost town, like Resident Evil Extinction, when it's like post-apocalyptic Vegas. But no, that's the thing too, is like the mindset of like, okay, I can smoke inside at the fucking table with my free fucking drink, my $1 drink with a tip.
With my free friends.
With my free friends.
That you can take that drink,
but
and
you know
can
what?
walk
Do I really
outside.
have to tip every time?
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
The least you can do,
Sorry to
man.
interrupt you, Elliot. Yeah, but every time...
It's $1 versus paying $7 for a drink.
It defeats the point of it being a free drink.
You can give them chips.
Yeah, you just give them a fucking
man.
chip, dude.
Dude, I give them fucking
Sometimes
Lay's.
Chips aren't money, Keb. What are you talking about?
I give them fucking Lay's Ruffles. Like,
you just put one chip
Not
on.
potato
Thanks a
chips,
lot.
Kib. We're being serious.
here you go, bitch.
Classic joke.
All right. Guys.
Do you got to take off, man? We were just getting started.
You're trying to do this at the beginning. We haven't even started rolling
This is
yet.
we're just getting warmed up.
This is so pretty. Well, I got to go do a meeting with them about movie game, the game that's now available.
Dude, I want to play that so bad.
Yeah, boy. I'm sorry we waited till this late to fucking talk about it. We talked about it with Zaragoza earlier, but fucking come on, man. Tell us about it again.
No, I'm sure he did a great job because he
did a bad
understands
job.
movies. Well, that makes sense. We're just going through the prompts and trying to get everything like figured out with it and get it shipped out. We've never done anything like this before, but it's available for pre-order now. If anybody listening,
Hell yeah, dude! Check out that game, everybody.
Yeah.
Support our boy. I want to fucking.
It's a genius game.
I want to play it so bad.
Yeah.
So the
Me
pre-order's available,
Play it.
but is it like out? Like so if I order it, I'll be able to get a copy of it, or is it just pre-order?
You'll pre-order, so you'll get it when we ship it out to everybody else, I guess. We're just trying to amass as many pre-orders as possible so we can know how much to send to the manufacturer so we can cut as much cost as possible.
You want to get all the pre-orders in, and then once you have all the orders, then you kind of just skip town.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm doing that, and I have to go through, and like it came on me to do like the proofreading, like the grammar check of everything. And I'm like, of all the things, like I don't know movies, so it's the one thing I can bring to the table. And I feel like it's going to be so obvious when there's multiple typos that it's like totally my fault.
Just
so
Elliott's
I'm just very
fault.
like, and it's. Yeah, and Joe's just done a spreadsheet and he's worked so hard on it and he's like, just give it once or twice over. And I'm like, no, you've done like a genius thing and it's going to bring people a lot of joy. And then they're going to see a typo and then everyone's going to know that it was my fault.
But that's cute, man. You should put something on the back of the box and be like, if there's a typo, you're welcome, Elliot.
Steve did it, yeah.
You know, because then they can look for them. It's like a little Easter egg.
Exactly.
Dude, that's so funny.
Then they'll pay attention. They're going to read it.
Well, hey, if you guys ever... If you guys ever want me and Kib to play with you, you know.
More than anything. You know that. Of course.
Oh,
always.
yeah.
I don't know if you want that.
He's actually just finished a new... No, he finished a new... we're going to do new movie game videos at youtube.com/thevalleyfolk. And he's... So if you guys want to be on those, we'll be doing those real shortly.
I'd love to.
I miss you guys.
Dude,
I miss you too, dude.
Man. Thank you so much for...
Let's all get COVID tests and then fucking go to Vegas and get super spreading.
That's not why you get COVID tests. It's not an excuse to party.
You can go Vegas and go cough.
Elliot, thanks so much for joining us, man. Elliot. It's been such a pleasure, dude.
Very
Love
fun.
talking
Thanks
to you,
for letting
man.
me ramble.
Of course.
Love talking to you guys. You guys I adore you.
Yeah.
All right.
You're so sweet.
We adore you.
We love you, dude. Have a great day. Fuck it up, bro. Once again, youtube.com/thevalleyfolk. You know, I mean, go pre-order the movie game. Is that what it's called?
Movie game.
Yeah, it's perfect. Thank you.
I love the name too.
I feel like we do.
That's like,
send us a link too. We'll throw it in the description. You guys can get it. Pre-order that shit. Support them.
Will do.
And support us
too, man. And support God. Support us, please.
God. Support us.
God. Amen.
Amen. All right. Thanks, guys.
Good night, Elliot.
Bye, baby.
Good night, guys.
Have a good day.
Later, boy.